Welcome to a tutorial video by A+ STEM Labs. I'm David Dickman, an instructional technology specialist. This video will show you how to get started using your smart microscope, also known as a handheld microscope. If you have any questions after the video, please email pd@aplusstemlabs.com. Also, don't forget to check out our other videos at aplusstemlabs.com/tutorials. In this video, we're going to be showing you how to use the Smart Microscope Viewer software. We're going to show you how to take photos and movies, and we're going to show you the other functions of the software as well. So let's jump over to the Smart Microscope Viewer software. To open the software, I'm going to double-click the Smart Microscope Viewer icon on my desktop. Now that the software is open, the first thing I'm going to do is adjust the light knob on the microscope so that I can see my object underneath the microscope. So I'm going to just adjust that knob. The light will turn on. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is adjust the focus knob on the microscope so that I can see the object underneath the microscope clearly. Great, and I'm going to just move my object over a little bit. Perfect. The first button that we're going to look at is the button that lets us take pictures. This button over here is their snapshot button. If I click on that, it's going to take a snapshot of the image. And then there it is down there at the bottom of the screen in our Photos tab. If I wanted to, I could take another picture by moving my object over so that I have taking a picture of a different area, taking that, clicking that button again, and now I have another picture down here. If I wanted to delete one of those photos, I can click on it and drag it to my trash can on the right and let go, and that's going to delete the photo. The next option I can do is to take a video by clicking this button over here, which is our record button. The second we click that button, it's going to start recording. I could now move my object underneath the microscope and then click that same button again to stop the recording. To see the movie, at the bottom of the screen, it says Photo and Movie. I'm going to click on that Movie tab. And now here's my movie. If I double click on that icon, it's going to play the movie. And now I'm back to my live feed, and again I can move my object underneath the microscope. To go back to see the photos that I've taken, I'm going to click on the Photos tab. And now the next button we're going to look at is the Compare button. So I'm going to click this button over here on the top of the screen. This is the Compare button. And now what I can do is I can drag a photo that I've taken onto the right by clicking and dragging it. And it'll compare that with my live feed, which is on the left. This is still my live feed on the left. I can move around that photo, the object underneath the live feed if I want to. To close out of Compare, we're going to click the Compare button one more time. And it brings us back to our live feed. Again, I can move my object around. This is the live feed. The next button we're going to look at is the Freeze button. It's going to let us freeze the image underneath the microscope. This is the Freeze button here. If I click on that, if I now move my object, I know you're not seeing anything on the screen, but I'm moving my object underneath the microscope. And to go back to my live feed, I'm going to just click on that Freeze button one more time. And we'll see, obviously, the object has moved. Let's get our image back to where we want it. Perfect. The next button is going to let us take a copy of the image underneath the microscope and paste it into a program like Microsoft Word or Microsoft PowerPoint. I'm going to click this button over here, Save to Clipboard. And now when I go to a program like Microsoft Word, I can right-click and hit Paste. And there's the image from underneath my microscope. The next button is our measurement button. We're not going to talk about that in this video. We're going to save that button for a future video. Moving right along, our next button is our zoom in button. If we click on that button, it's going to zoom in on the image. We can still move around our object if we want to underneath the microscope. And then to zoom out, we'll just click the next button next to that, which lets us zoom out back to our original zoom. And once we get back to the original zoom, obviously we can't zoom out anymore. The next button is the play video button. The other way that we could do that is the same as we did before by going to our movie tab and double clicking on our movie. Our next button is video setup. Let's click on that. And now we have some video options inside of here. We're not going to talk about everything in here. We're just going to talk about one thing, which is the time lapse option. So time lapse is currently checked, and what we can do to make a time lapse video is change the ratio. So if we choose something like 5:1, it's going to take one picture every 5 seconds. If we choose 10:1, it'll take one picture every 10 seconds. So that's how you could make a time lapse video. The next button we're going to look at is the video quality option. When we click on that, it lets us change the quality of the video. So if I would change the brightness, we'll see in the background the brightness of the video is changing. I'm going to leave all the settings the same, but that's where you can go and change the quality of the video. Our next button is the crosshair button. When we press this button, crosshair is going to show up on the screen. If you wanted to move the crosshair to a different section, you could right click and it's going to move that crosshair to a different area of your screen. If you want to get the crosshair back to the middle of the screen, right click on the crosshair button and it puts it back to the center of the screen. To turn off the crosshair, just click the crosshair button one more time. The last button is the manual button. That's going to bring up a manual that will talk about all the different features that are possible when using the Smart Microscope Viewer software. So that's going to do it for this video. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, please email us at pd@aplusstemlabs.com. And don't forget to check out our other tutorial videos at aplusstemlabs.com/tutorials.